Hello and welcome. Oh, there he is.
Right at the last minute.
Right at the last minute. Hello. Sebastian True comes in at just the right time as we go live on Let's Talk Sport. Welcome. My camera's a bit out of sync with the audio. It's a new camera, folks. I'm trying to get used to it. It was a bit like that last night, but luckily, if I transition now, no, I'm still a bit behind with the audio, so that's rather annoying, so I do apologise, folks. I'm not really sure how to deal with that right now, but anyway, welcome to our live stream watch along of Ajax versus AS Roma. I'm getting a bit sweaty. That's not because of nerves, but that's because I've just downed a cup of tea, which I may regret. Anyway, we are live and we're about to get ready for the game. The Ajax, even though Ajax are playing at home, they're playing in away colours tonight. They're not playing in the traditional red and white strip with the red down the middle and the white on the outsides. I'm starting to think they'll do anything to promote their shirts these days, which is, I guess, fair enough.
You do what you can, right?
You do what you can. You do what you can. I'm going to just change my camera for a moment and just find out why I am completely out of sync with that. Let me try it again. Hello, hello, hello. No, I think I'm still out of sync. Maybe this is the thing when you have OBS and you have too many layers. I'm not sure. Seb, how are you feeling? What are you expecting from this game?
Interesting one. I haven't watched Roma in a little while, neither nor Ajax for a couple of weeks, so I'm just hoping for something quite intriguing. And not really sure what to expect. You know, the two top sides, and they probably shouldn't be in Europa League football. So it's still a big match. It's still a big European match, I think. This.
Absolutely.
I'd say it's bigger than the likes of, say, United and Granada. Well, with all respect to Granada, who aren't exactly a European outfit quite often. So I don't know. It could be fun.
I've also got that game on, as of course some of you may know I'm a United fan, but hopefully it'll be a cakewalk tonight. But I've always said that about United over the last 2-3 years against teams we should beat. But this is where we are. Anyway, let's look at the starting lineups. I forgot to add Seb in to the stats page, sadly. So I do apologise, Seb.
It happens.
Or maybe I shouldn't do that thing anymore. Anyway, I'm just stressing at the fact that my camera is still a bit out of sync. Yeah, it really is out of sync, and I'm not sure why. So I think what I'm going to do is just get rid of the stats page, because I don't think we've got any time for that. Get rid of that. Hopefully that'll change something. No, I don't think it will. I'm going to simply get rid of my camera for a moment. You keep speaking, Seb. What's going on in front of you?
They're walking out onto the pitch. You put me under pressure. So, first leg, Pellegrini going up to see Tadic, both captains. I always like seeing that attacking players, both captains. But anyway, despite the fact, I've never actually found out if Pellegrini is related to that manager Pellegrini that we did see. Nonetheless, captain for Roma tonight, not Dzeko. I'm not even too sure who the Roma captain is. Often was Dzeko stripped of that when he had that falling out? Wait, it's saying here that it's Cristiante. What's that all about? I'm confused. Who have you got as captain, Jamie?
I have no idea.
You put it on the lineups, right?
Yeah, but they never include the C where I get it from.
Because it's saying on this official UEFA.com, whatever, that's coming up on the screen, that it's Cristiante, but it's Pellegrini who's just gone into the middle. So I don't know if I've missed something or if that is just a mistake. Let me see on the lineups, because, yeah, I've got Pellegrini as, whatever. Must be Pellegrini then. I must be getting confused.
Right. I'm still trying to figure out why this happened last night, but the moment I wasn't in studio mode, we weren't out of sync with my camera, so I don't know why it's doing that. Eh?
Maybe get out of studio mode.
Well, no, that's what I've done, and then it just goes in. I've clicked transition and everything.
Yeah, exactly, because there's a transition of a few milliseconds.
Yeah. Transition. Studio mode. Nah, I don't know why it's doing that. That's a real shame. I've just bought a bloody new camera.
It's out of sync.
And it's out of sync. That's clever. Anyway, we've got someone who's got in touch. Dildar Alekel saying first. He says, I want Roma, but Ajax will win. What do you think of that, Seb?
Uh, I never know with Roma. With when Roma go up against a very attacking side, they kind of go into their shell, and it's almost weird. But they they still have a chance. I mean, with Zeko and Pellegrini, I mean they've got a lot of injuries with Chris Smalling, Mkhitaryan notably. So they might struggle. But with Ajax's goalkeeper, I wouldn't put it beyond Roma getting at least a goal, away goal. Sherpen. I'm not too convinced because
I'm just going to turn my cam off. You
as,
carry on.
as now is common news, and now has been suspended for what was an alleged drug breach. So they've had different goalkeepers come in, notably to a whole list of goalkeepers, but
Yeah.
that's probably a weak point for them now. So just try and get some shots away, which Roma do. They actually do create a lot of chances in certain matches. So there are two different Romas when I see in the season. It's one that really goes all out and plays some fantastic football, going attacking forward quite well, and there's somewhere you just completely go into their shell and can't bring anything to the game. So I'd like to see the preferably attacking Roma, especially against an open Ajax side.
Well, we're just waiting for the game to kick off. Referee's
I've
got
got the game kicked off. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know why my cam's doing that. It didn't do it last night. I'm just going to check the stream, so I'll be back in a minute.
No worries. Now it's classing on the ball. Gets it forward. To Neres. And he misplaces the pass to Tadic. Now it's Veretout on the ball. And Lopez has just put it out silly. I'm not too convinced by Lopez still in goal for Roma. I think it's a bit of an unwise choice. He's had some decent matches, but he's an unreliable goalkeeper in my opinion. Now it's Gravenberch bringing it forward. And Tadic just shrugged off the ball. But Ajax are keeping the pressure high up on the pitch there. Roma can't seem to play out the back for anything. Now long ball goes in and Tadic has got the header down. Klassen. Anthony on the edge of the box.
Right, I think I've got it to work. No idea how. I changed the camera on Zoom, even though I'm using my device capture on OBS. So we're in sync now. So I apologise, folks, but when you have a system that worked yesterday and it doesn't work today, it's very frustrating. So yeah. Anyway, the game has got underway.
Technological world, hey.
Aye. I mean, I thought I had to get rid of loads of layers because of it, but maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, yes, the game has gone underway. I'll be also keeping an eye on the Man United game if it doesn't stop loading on that stream.
I tried finding it and I accidentally came across Arsenal. I'm like, no, I'll be fine, thanks.
Oh dear.
I'd rather not.
Well, Slavia Prague have beaten the last two opponents in Britain, Rangers and Leicester. I know they're not. I know Rangers had a few men sent off in that game, but it still counts.
No, they were poor before they got the sendings off as well. Well, not poor. They looked like they were losing the tie anyway before they got the sendings off. So
yeah,
it was just almost a second blow anyway. So they probably would have gone through anyway. And is this just setting up for what's going to happen in the summer? The Czechs beating the Brits.
Well, I revised the group again the other day, which only took 2 seconds because it's only 3 other teams. But I did revise the group and thought to myself, you know what? I still mean it when I said it a few weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised if England didn't get out of it. Which, you know, Croatia is our first game. That won't be easy.
No, it'll be easier than you think. That's easier than you think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Croatia recently are dropping off a cliff almost.
That's what happens when you don't have a Ballon d'Or player anymore. Or a current one.
Edgy much?
or Dejan Lovren. But I mean, Czech Republic are always hit and miss in major tournaments. But I remember in the 2000s they were some team. But then you've also got Scotland.
Nedved Mrozicki.
Oh, what a couple of players they were. Czech as well in goal, and then you had. I'm trying to remember the striker's name. He loved a header. My stream keeps pausing for the. Baros was up there, but there was also. I can't remember his name. He was number 9. I'll have to figure it out.
as
but he was
commonly are
some
the
player.
strikers.
But
Hey, this
but
Roma
also
looking easy
Scott.
during this beginning. Yeah.
But like always with Scotland though, regardless of what form we're in or what form they're in, it's a rivalry, isn't it? It's you never know what can happen on the day, and I think we drew against
No.
them the last time we played them. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And
Ajax going up front here. It's on the right hand side. They would
what
love
minute you
to.
at?
I'm on 3:35 and the shot straight at goal, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. The way I said at goal then, it was like it's gone in.
But it's Gravenberch who gets the shot, and I think he's becoming one hell of a player. I've said this before months ago on the streams, and
Yes.
I just see Lopez putting it out of play again.
How
Wow.
old is he? 22.
Gravenberch, he's only 18.
Is he 18? He looks
He's
20.
18.
He looks 22.
He's 18, yeah.
It's like oh, there was this model that I follow on Instagram, and she revealed her age the other day, and everyone just commented underneath saying, "No, no, you look a lot older."
He looks more composed. He looks like he's actually fully grown, which I don't mean that in a pejorative way. It's just that usually males stop growing at 21, but he looks like he's fully grown now for the size he's going to be, and he looks like a proper player. I think he'll be really good, and I've said this for months, as I just mentioned, that I think he can be a phenomenal player. And even in Ajax, they're saying, there's De Ligt, there's De Jong, there's all these players, but Gravenberch is the one who will explode bigger than those two.
And Seb, of course, watches a lot of football. I always think Seb should actually be a scout himself. He watches a lot.
I don't watch a lot recently. I've actually been a bit off the ball. I'll be honest with you there.
Would you say life has taken over, or
Rather the responsibilities, admittedly.
the way you said it, and then I heard the drop of your beer.
Yeah, almost seriously. It's Thursday night. It's beer night.
It's beer night. It's beer night every night, says the alcoholic.
No, not every night. Not every night. We were watching some of the Champions League this week, except for the ones you were doing yesterday, obviously. Were you watching both games yesterday?
We were, yes. So if you joined us last night, it was me and Jack. Jack watched the Chelsea game. He was bored of his game, and he actually wished he was watching the PSG game, because throughout the whole stream, Seb, all you could hear was me saying, Navas saves it, Navas saves it, oh, Navas blocks it. That's all I was saying.
To be fair, you watch Porto, you know what you're signing up for. You watch Chelsea, you know what you're signing up for. That whole match, you had to know what you were signing up for.
Yeah.
And the same with PSG and Bayern. I think all their games have been pretty scintillating this year, whether they've been dominated or not. They've been really good games. Even if Bayern Munich play against last place, like or Mainz, even it's 5-2 or something like that, or 8-0 against Schalke, it's always interesting. The same with PSG.
Yeah.
Always been interesting matches, because
Absolutely.
if there aren't many goals, there are a lot of red cards.
Well, this is the thing, because the PSG Bayern Munich game last night, the fact that Mbappe scored first within 3 minutes, even though there shouldn't have been a surprise because it's Mbappe, he scores when the chances are there, but it still surprised me. Oh, there's a stripper on the pitch.
Is there? Which game are we talking about?
There's definitely a strip, unless they're trying to trick me. I've just seen during the United game there's a streaker, but at the same time I wonder if they've just put a graphic in to confuse me. Am I just being fooled? My stream has just stopped again. It just keeps freezing, so I don't know. But
I've just seen Pogba get a yellow, and stupidly he wouldn't have got a red, but that was.
Oh no, yeah, he
annoying.
did run on the pitch. How did he get there?
That's brilliant.
There's police forces as well.
It's brilliant, getting a streaker when no fans are allowed in the stadium. That's even more extreme than the average streaker.
You knew security have been so bored recently, they let him in.
It's like a joke, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, go on then. We've done nothing else.
Mm-hmm. But I want to come back to yesterday. I didn't actually get to see the game. I only saw the highlights at the end of it. Who keeps saying... I've been in multiple different online debates, and people keep saying Neuer's been outstanding this season. And I keep saying, no, he hasn't. He has been a lot worse this season than the season before. There were notably errors against Hoffenheim where he gets gives a penalty away and concedes shots underneath him. Anyway, the point being that Neuer has been...
Already.
Yeah, but it was a poor tackle.
Yeah.
But the point being that Neuer has been, I think, in my opinion, really bad this season. So that just highlighted it yesterday. And now people are jumping on that bandwagon and say, oh, Neuer's not the same goalkeeper this year. I've been saying that since the beginning of the season. He makes too many errors now, way too many errors.
I think that first goal should never have gone in. It was straight at him.
No,
It
it's
was really bad.
it's proof of a lack of concentration, which Neuer is guilty of multiple times. How can you jump over that ball? He jumps over that ball, right? To let it in.
I mean,
He stays on his feet. It hits his body, but he
And then
jumps and
it's
it
the
goes
fact that
underneath him.
I think it always looks bad when it deflects off you and it goes in an opposite direction into the net, if that makes sense. And that's what it was. And I think
If you didn't stop it, it'd have looked bad anyway.
yeah, absolutely. It was straight at him. And Navas last night showed that every shot you go at him, he can deal with it.
And he did the same against Barcelona in the last round. Let's not forget. He was imperial in that second leg.
Navas for me, I've said this time and time again. I think you've said it with me as well, which is I think he's underrated. I really like Navas. He's proven to do it at Real Madrid. Okay, Costa Rica. People could say, well, it's Costa Rica. He doesn't choose where he's from. He represents his country regardless. And he was a genius at the 2014 World Cup. It was that World Cup that got him these contracts, that got him known, at least for the bigger clubs. And I just remember that penalty shootout against Greece, and he made those two big saves, and it got them into their first ever quarter-finals. So he made history that night, and that got him the bigger contract and the bigger pay, and he deserved it. Granada caught offside from a free kick. Fernandez, it's a corner. Wow, really?
Ooh.
It was so offside.
Roma have a penalty shout here.
Oh, really?
No, not Roma. Sorry, Ajax.
Misleading.
It was Neres, but Roma are struggling. They're struggling to get the ball out from the back.
Well, I'd be interested if somehow Granada got a goal from this corner, because it was definitely offside, and Fernandez was screaming for it to be a free kick. Oh, nearly deflected in there, and it's weird to see now, Seb. De Gea is the goalkeeper for a Europa League game. Now, what does that say? What does that say about the goalkeeper situation? I think he's gone in the summer.
It's unfortunate, and I've always been the biggest defender of De Gea because I think he gets over-criticised, like some goalkeepers do.
I don't understand the criticism he gets. I get he did make a handful of mistakes last season in the league, which cost us some points. But you can rely on him. You can still rely on him.
How many goalkeepers have made big mistakes?
Exactly.
I'd say that nearly all of them.
All the best ones.
Even Alisson, yeah, and I'd say Edison even
maybe
has, but he's had a lot less this year because
maybe even Neuer.
Well, definitely Neuer. I've got a handful of mistakes that he's made. Well, a handful more than that because there are so many unforgivable mistakes. I think, and even in big matches like against Leipzig or Dortmund. But
absolutely.
Whatever. That's not the discussion for today. I think I've made my point.
Dildar, since you said you want Ajax to. You want Roma to win, but Ajax will win instead. Do subscribe, and if you're still with us, do get in touch. Luke Tanner says, "Good evening, lads." Hello, Luke, the man who thinks Mbappe will be a Liverpool player. Hilarious.
Come on, Luke. We know it's not happening.
I still think he might stay. To tell you the truth,
I think he will. I think he will because I don't think people have the money. But what is he asking for? £350,000 a week?
Yeah,
never happening.
And
Liverpool will never paying that.
I think
never in a million years they paying that.
I think as well. I mean, look, whatever happens, I think Mbappe would love to, if it was to be the last season at PSG, I think he would love to leave a present, which is the Champions League. And look, I'll say this,
wouldn't it? After the goal against Bayern, after the goal against Barca, he is in demand even more so now because I think there was one big critic of Mbappe is he hasn't really done it on the big stage. Only for Monaco, but yes, that was still an early part of his career. But at PSG, where he's supposed to be performing at that level, he hasn't yet. And now that he has done against Barcelona with the hat-trick, with the 2 goals against Bayern Munich, he is going to be even more in demand. A lot more than than Haaland, sorry. Yeah. If he does get further in the tournament than Haaland, say.
I was reading yesterday that Man United actually have the funds for Haaland. Ajax had to head that on the goal line there. Edin Dzeko, the ex-Man City player, was there, and I think it was Tagliafico who got in the way of it at the end. I'm a big fan of Tagliafico. I think he's a great defender.
It's not been his greatest season, but in all fairness, he's still a quality left back. And his chance, unfortunately, might have gone to leave Ajax because he's what 28, 29 now.
Yeah.
So maybe that chance has come and gone.
He was linked to Man City, I remember last summer, but that was always,
I don't see interest in it now.
I just think it was a rumour. I don't think it was anything more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Plus, I don't think Man City particularly need Tagliafico.
No,
I'm not sure he's a very
backup maybe, but
at Man City they have players that play multiple positions. If you look at Zinchenko, he is a midfielder at heart, and he's also a left back now. Cancelo is one that does drop into, it comes up into that midfield role, plays right back and left back. They've got to have multiple roles. Tagliafico is a left back, and I only see him as a left back.
Just trying to get another stream up for the United game because it just keeps freezing. Luke Tanner said, Luke Tanner says, I never said Mbappe was definitely coming to Liverpool. He's probably end up at Madrid, but don't rule it out, Mbappe going to Liverpool. No, of course, we're not saying you definitely know. No one knows. The only person that knows is Mbappe or his agent.
No, and I am the one who is actually ruling it out because I don't think they'll pay that high salary.
It's not Liverpool, and they haven't got the money. They haven't got the money.
Roma's got a good shot off it. It's Cristante.
I'm not saying United would get Mbappe. That's not happening. But what I would say is that I think United actually have more of a chance than Liverpool would because of in terms of finance. But they're not going to get him. So that's why I'm saying Liverpool won't get him either.
Cristante forced a good save out of Sherpen there. Decent stop.
I'm trying to enjoy this United game, but it just keeps pausing. Go on, Pogba.
Jamie told me to do the thumbnail, but he was going to follow the United game, whatever.
But no, this Ajax game's been interesting to watch already. But yeah, this is probably the best game of the quarterfinals on paper.
I am confused though because Ajax should be playing in white and Roma should be playing in a very somber dark colour. And
yeah,
like the wrong way around.
I remember. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, I'm sure you do. The Netherlands-Spain game in the 2014 World Cup.
I'll tell you something now. I actually never did watch that game.
Oh, you missed out.
I've seen the goals, but I didn't actually see the game. That was one of the very few ones that I did miss.
I remember it very well, where I was watching it on the sofa with my dad, and we had our dinner on our trays. It was that kind of year, that month of no, we're not sitting on the table. We're watching every game on the sofa.
For the World Cup, yeah,
absolutely. But what happened is that the Netherlands played in their away kit, and so did Spain. But yet, when it was the final 4 years before that in the World Cup, Spain were in their away colours, but Netherlands could play in their classic orange kit. So it was a bit like, okay, and FIFA said you've got to play in your away kit for this game. It's like, what?
I thought it'd be their decision, like as if we're trying to promote our second away kit or our third kit, so let's go for it. Because I'm sure that's what's happened now. I'm certain that's what teams are doing now, is that they're using their away kit, or a third kit, just so they can sell them more.
I mean, when me and Seb and Joe and others set up our coloured templates for these games that we do for you guys, to be honest, I know most of the time,
nightmare.
Just guess it. It really is.
Winging it now. We're winging it.
I mean, the Premier League used to do this thing the day before on Twitter, the day before weekend of matches, where they would probably share what kits they're probably going to wear. But even so, that's just something that you can't always find until the actual day happens, and it's too late. So that's why we have our problems with our kits. But the one thing I did buy yesterday, which was offered to me, it's a fake shirt, and I can't wait for it to come. Hopefully it'll be this weekend. It is a Joshua Kimmich shirt, the Germany shirt ahead of the Euros, which I wanted the Germany shirt anyway, the home shirt that they've got for this summer. It's a nice shirt. They'll probably do shit in it, but we'll see. But I can't imagine them
performing very well now. If
no.
you get beat 0 by this poor Spanish side, you mustn't be that good.
Well, I remember Germany had a poor team in 2006, but they still got to the semis, and it's just like, yeah.
Bit different then, I think.
Way more different. But I always find
I
wouldn't surprise
new breed of young players, kind of mixture between the mature ones as well.
All it takes is a momentum, and you can get yourself to the semis, and I think that's what I expect from Germany at every tournament.
I mean, that didn't work out last time, did it?
Well, I still can't believe he didn't get sacked for that, to be honest, because I felt like Rakunlov was for me, of course he deserved another World Cup. He won the World Cup, for God's sake, the previous time. But I think after that World Cup, if I was in charge of the federation, I would have just gone, look, you've won us the World Cup. You're a legend, but it's not working out anymore. Let's not ruin this.
Yeah, but it was
let's
one
find
bad
someone
tournament.
else.
Their preparation was pretty solid to that tournament.
Yeah, but I just think but they
So
were really bad. Like
yeah,
the
what,
Sweden
three
game
bad
was
matches and
lucky.
you wanna fire someone?
The Sweden, yeah, but that Sweden game was. I'm just surprised because in Germany, I'd imagine it's very severe if you don't get out of a group stage, which never happens. You know, Germany has a standard, while with England, we have a shit standard. Let's be honest.
Well,
Germany have a standard where
the very last fire sack trigger friendly when it comes to sacking coaches, aren't they? They don't sack coaches just like that in Germany. So after three bad matches, which were that tournament, they weren't going to sack Low. But I think after that, when they saw the performances weren't getting much better, I think they
and it
should
was a
have
very
reacted.
low World Cup for them.
Oh yeah, good
Oh,
one.
thank you. And it's normally Seb who does the puns. Who's paying who at the moment? Maybe it's his beer.
Maybe
What was I
it
going to
is.
say? So yeah, it's goalless at the moment in the two games I'm watching, but I don't know the latest in the other games. Rashford at the moment, I'm seeing him have a free kick. Seb is,
It's
I think,
goalless in all games.
Oh, is it? Yeah, Seb's got all four streams up, which I'd love to
No,
be.
I've got three up, but I have to admit, the other one, the Arsenal one, is not getting much vision. Let's just say, I've got United and Roma in my peripheral vision, so that's fine. The other game is on my left there, about more than 90 degrees, so unrealistic for me to watch it.
Were you? I mean, Seb, you watched the Real Madrid Liverpool game the other night. Were you surprised by what happened in that game?
I was surprised at how poor Liverpool were. I wasn't surprised how professional Real Madrid were, because they've been like that a lot recently. You know, get the job done and do it at a very efficient way. But I was surprised that Liverpool were that poor, and I actually didn't make the pun properly the other night. But when we talked about Keita starting, and he probably started a better squad aside against Arsenal than Real Madrid, on Easter weekend he put his eggs in the wrong basket. Well, Klopp is that is for that matter. But I just didn't get it. It's so inexperienced, and I thought Klopp was probably very disrespectful to Real Madrid. You know, hoping that such a young defense, and then also protected by Keita and just Fabinho, that was really, disrespectful to Real Madrid, because it's probably one of the best midfield three in the world with Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric. I know people say that they haven't had their best season, admitted, but those three still do the job a lot better than most midfielders in Europe. So Liverpool shouldn't have been surprised, but they were shocked in the end. I don't know. It was poor from them, and if they're that bad in the Premier League, in the Champions League, till the end of the season, then they won't get anything. They'll be trophyless, and they will be without Champions League football if they play like that in Premier League.
There's a corner here for Ajax, which Tadic has taken, and Tadic actually, I checked before, he's been involved in 9 goals in Europe this season for Ajax, which just shows what. I mean, I think Tadic is great for Ajax. I know he did wonders in that Champions League campaign a couple of years back, but also, you know, he looks like a captain.
It's weird, isn't it? Because he didn't look at all like that. This player at Southampton, did he? So
Unless
it's
he
weird
went
how he's
to,
turned it around.
He probably
He
went.
was at Southampton for a long time. He was at Southampton a lot longer than he's been at Ajax. It's weird that his team that he couldn't turn it around. I think he was 4 seasons at Southampton, and this is his 3rd at Ajax.
I wonder if he went to Michael Scott's leadership school, which he wouldn't have got much out of that, but it would have been very hilarious, I'm sure.
Because he's still just a number 10. He's still just a number. He's not a number 9, and yet his first season he got 28 goals for Ajax in the league.
28. Wow.
28 in his first season at Ajax.
Oh, here come Roma. It's 3 against 2. Oh, there's a deflection there, and it's straight at the keeper. Of course, there's no Stecklenburg tonight. There's no Onana, of course. Onana's banned.
Yeah,
but it is also
quite a while.
12 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Stecklenburg hasn't really. He didn't play in last weekend, if I'm not wrong. But he's been the goalkeeper since Onana's been suspended. So this is a big chance for Sherpen.
Yeah, sure.
I am looking forward to see what it is. Yeah, what happens, because Ajax, we know, produced quite a few young players, and this is another one.
There's a bit of an injury there for one of the Roma players, which I do like that away kit they're wearing.
It looks like it's Veretout who's injured, and Veretout is their top scorer in the league, despite being a centre midfielder.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but he's turned his career around since. Well, he was at Aston Villa before. I don't know if you remember. He was a season at Aston Villa. That season where they got relegated.
Oh, was he?
Last time around. Yeah, and he looked absolutely terrible. He looked really terrible, and now he looks really at home at Roma. So just shows how people can change that. How can people can turn their careers around.
So of course, with the injury happening, there's just a bit of a pause in the game. Klazan, of course, coming back to Ajax at the start of the season.
The start of the season, you mean? Oh yeah, no, it was the start of the season. I thought he'd been there for. This is his second there.
Yeah, he didn't. He was at Everton, wasn't he, at one point? Which
Yeah, he was at Everton. Yeah,
I can't
thought it was-
remember his time there, to be honest.
I thought it was a decent signing at that point. I don't think he got enough of a chance at Everton.
Mm.
But hey, you don't get time in the Premier League, do you?
No, no.
I mean, if you look at all of these, as I mentioned, Veretout, who's played for Aston Villa in that relegation season. You look at even Pedro, who looked finished in the Premier League, who's having a decent season at Roma. Mkhitaryan, who's been Roma's best player this season, arguably. And it just shows how Serie A can really reboot some of those careers, or the league is probably not up to standards. I mean, Dzeko looked out of sorts at City, and then he's completely turned it around since going back to Italy. No, he never went there before. Going to Italy.
See, I quite liked Dzeko at Man City. I know he
He didn't
wasn't.
do too badly, did he?
I don't think he was that bad. Yeah, I can't remember, but I don't know.
He
I
did better
liked him.
than Negredo, didn't he?
Oh,
think that was his name.
Negredo. Yeah.
Negredo, yeah.
Yeah, that
He was a bit of a strange one.
He was a.
He's
he had
at
a bit
Cadiz
of
now.
He had a bit of a spell, but then that was it, really.
He's at Cadiz now.
Oh, is
And
he?
there's also Jovetic, is that his name? Who's at Monaco, I think, now. City have had some strikers in the past, and then also Boney, who's at Newport, is he? Is that what we were saying the other day?
Oh yeah. Oh,
So,
how the mighty have fallen.
Yep. Apparently when you leave City as a striker, you never recover, so hints to Aguero.
Oh shit. Now Aguero's coming to Man United. I keep reading those rumours.
You
It's
make yourself
hilarious.
believe that. It's Spinazzola. I can't ever say his name. Who's gone down. He was the one who went down before, and he's gone down again.
I've just,
Wait, I'm saying that, but Veretout looks like he's also down as well. The Roma players are... No,
Roma-
I said it wrong. Ibanez.
Roma
They
players
all
want
look
the
like they're
season
just
to
all
be
over the
over.
place. They do. They really do. Because Roma looked in full contention of the Scudetto in Italy for a little while, and I think since that Lazio game, though, they lost quite humiliatingly. They haven't looked like they could really turn it round. They've got some wins, but scraping the barrel. I remember the 4-3 against Spezia, and just getting over the line in some games, then losing other games, and it looks like they're getting tired now. And I think that they've gone their whole season without their best player. I think Zaniolo is one of their best players in the whole squad, and he's been injured since the start of the season. If not, it was before that even. And it's such a shame because it's the second time he's had a ligament injury, and he's only 21. Yep, such a shame. Yeah, and Spinazzola has come off now.
Oh dear. What minute are you on?
I'm on 28-20, sorry.
28-20. Ah, I'm a minute and 20 behind.
I'm just telling you the future.
He's telling me the future. I keep getting that.
Yeah, it happens.
Goalless between Granada and United as well. But yeah, there is every AS Roma player is going to be filling up the Amsterdam hospital tonight.
It seems like it because they've got off to a pretty bad start, just fitness-wise.
Rashford just had a curling shot. Just past
Just
the
turned
target.
my eye to this game, and Saka's just put a ball wide there. Did well to get in behind and beat the offside trap. Just curled it to the wrong side of the post. And I like that Slavia Prague are playing with a goalkeeper who is, do you remember when Czech had all the masks on and all the face wear as well?
He looked like Darth Vader nearly.
Well, Well, the Slavia Prague goalkeeper, who is Czech as well, is wearing that same attire. You know, the mask and the helmet. I don't know whether there's a recent injury that's come about. I'd like anyone who knows to tell me because
Did it?
I think it's quite intriguing.
Did it? I mean, like the whole rugby hat thing. I mean, I remember Kivu wore one as well, didn't he? Because he had a head injury.
Maybe.
But I do wonder, does it? Is it really? I mean, okay, it's padding, but I just really
Yeah,
wonder, does it make a? I don't know. I just thought
it's like that
it looked
same.
silly. It always looked silly. That was all I thought.
It's like if a car comes at you really, really fast and you just put some sort of plank in front of you. The plank might be resistant to any sort of mechanical shock, but imagine if the whole thing just crushes you anyway because there's so much force coming
Yeah,
behind it
yeah, yeah.
afterwards. So
Exactly.
it's like all that example of you know, those you get those phone cases that would be resistant to hammer shocks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. Some kid tries it because he puts his phone down, then hits it with a hammer. But then you don't realize that there's also shock coming in behind. It might be resistant to braking, but it still applies a pressure underneath afterwards, and it completely wrecked his phone. And that might be the same logic as well with helmet wear. I guess it isn't. There is studies that go behind it that prove me wrong, but you do wonder sometimes.
There's
And Roma looked like to have a dangerous attack that started off with someone doing a bicycle kick in the center circle, and they broke away from it. So always like that sort of breakaway, you know.
they have looked more
It's pretty end
threatening.
to end. It's pretty end to end this game. Well, Ajax started the better team, but now Roma are starting to really get some decent chances. Well, decent chances, half chances at least.
Who was your when
And,
these?
and there's a goal for Rashford.
Oh, was it Rashford? Yay! Goal, Rashford! Yay! But we're
Hey,
not watching that game, Seb. We are watching
an away goal.
an away
Well,
goal.
it's
Hopefully one
Europa
of
League night, so we're
five.
gonna update. We're gonna update the viewers with our knowledge on it, on what's going on.
Seb, who was your when the tie had been made for the quarters? Who? Because I think quarterfinals is when you start to kind of look at it properly and go, right, who's looking like the
My
favourites?
favourites.
Who are your favourites?
I've said this for. I actually put money on Chelsea to win the Champions League, and I combined it with Villarreal to win the Europa League.
Of course, yeah. Who are
It's
Villarreal playing
Emery.
tonight?
It's Emery. So Villarreal are playing Dynamo Zagreb. So the draw is one they would have wanted, and it's just Emery. This sort of competition. I don't mean that with disrespect, but when you're playing these lower league sides and you have a decent squad and you know how to adapt tactics, that's what gets you through these sort of competitions. And Emery does that so well. When it's an elite level and he tries adapting the tactics to, say, a higher caliber of player, it looks good on paper but never works. That's what Emery's downfall was at Arsenal, in my opinion. Like when they got hammered at Liverpool, I thought he got his tactics spot on. You know, where just push the ball out wide, hope that it's Liverpool will only attack from there, and you might win the match. Okay, it looks good on paper to limit your opponents that sort of chance, but then when you're playing a higher caliber, you do still get punished, and that's what Emery's downfall was. He just still kept getting punished. But in a competition like the Europa League, I think it bodes well for him. I think he's a good tactician who can get through these games, and plus with playing Dynamo Zagreb in this round, I think they should be odds-on favourite to get to the to semi-final. So there it is, Villarreal, because of Emery.
Villarreal. And who are they playing tonight? I can't remember.
Dynamo Zagreb.
That was it. Imagine if Zagreb beat them and then all of a sudden Seb is wrong.
It could
Ajax
be.
have a corner.
I'm ready to be.
I've not seen Villarreal to comment, to be honest, so I wouldn't know. But La Liga
Yeah,
is my favourite league in the world. That's
I'll
a
say
lie.
that. I'll say that in the same light. Yeah,
Oh, I've
sarcastically.
just seen the Rashford goal now.
Jamie, who's late to the party.
Well, I've had to change my streams twice since you said Rashford scored, so I've probably got the very, very slowest one. And it's
I'm
two
looking at
goals in
Sherpen,
4
and he looks
matches.
really tall. Ooh, and Cristiante's had another shot there, but that one goes over the bar.
Yeah, he couldn't miss that, Rashford.
I'm gonna see how tall Sherpen is because he looks really, really tall. I'm gonna say it in the metric system because Jamie won't get what I'm talking about. If I say 2 meters, Jamie will be like, "That's tall, isn't it?" Uh,
1 meter. Come on, 2 meters is like
oh, no.
looking at a bloody well big King
Oh, no, no,
Kong.
no. Okay, and I'm not wrong. He's 2 meters 5.
The hell's 2 meters 5?
2 meters 5 is about 6'6", I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's quite tall.
That's
I'm
very
five. I
tall.
mean, that's a foot taller than me. I'm 5'6".
You're 5'6".
I'm five
Yeah,
foot six. Yeah, that is very tall.
5'5".
You're 5'5".
No, you're 5'5", Jamie. Come on.
No, I'm 5'6". I measured recently.
Oh, okay,
What are
okay.
you? 5'5".
I'm taller than you.
Nah, I think you've shrunk.
You can tell I'm taller.
All those days of eating crackers makes you smaller.
Weirdly enough, Jamie knows one of my obsessions.
I do, and I've started doing it since I've seen you do it. It's
Oh, yeah.
actually quite nice.
Crackers and cheese.
And
Can't go wrong.
well, even without the cheese, I find it very filling.
Yeah, it's dry though without the cheese.
Yeah, like if you have more than 3 crackers, that's when it starts to get a bit.
You start
horrible.
going crackers.
Very good.
Yeah, that was the worst pun I've come up with all night.
Yeah, but I like the worst ones. That's my kind of audience.
Yeah, low blows, you know.
Oh yeah, I felt that one in the stomach. Because
Yeah.
we're on about food, and you get hungry when it comes to your stomach.
All right, let's talk crackers.
Let's talk crack. Who'd have thought? LTC, not LTS.
LTC, yeah, it goes well.
Of course, there is another watch along we're doing tomorrow night, folks. It's France women hosting England women in an international friendly. That's kicks off at 8:10, so do join me for that. And I think England play Canada women next week on Tuesday, but I don't think we'll be able to do a watch along for that because that's on at around the same time as Bayern versus PSG and Chelsea versus Porto.
They should have mixed it up this week. You know, I'd have liked it if they didn't have Chelsea, Porto, Bayern, PSG on both at the same days. You know, give Chelsea the Wednesday slot next week again. Yeah, I'd have liked them to do that sort
Is
of
that
thing.
because you're not free on Wednesday?
I'm not free either days this week, so can't say anything really. They do well enough, you know, changing around the Tuesday and the Wednesday fixtures. But
Yeah.
that's just my own. That's my own opinion because I'm never happy. Never happy with the scheduling.
He's never happy with the scheduling.
I actually prefer it, even the Premier League now, the way it's spread across the whole day. I really like that. I'd probably spend less time watching football if they were all in that 4 o'clock slot or the 3 o'clock slot. Sorry.
Yes. I feel like there's a lot of wives out there that aren't happy.
Yeah.
But we've only started doing that in the Prem since lockdown, so this is to make sure that every game can be seen each time or something like that.
And it kind of suits me because, well, the streaming rights, the French TV or Swiss TV didn't have the rights to every single game. Now that it's spread across all of them, they do. So
same with Sky and BT at the moment.
Exactly, yeah.
And
So,
BBC have been getting a handful.
That's weird, isn't it?
It's weird, but
Little
it's good to see.
market.
It's good to see. I think the Premier League should just give them a handful each season.
When you think about it, it's weird that it's been so closed off to many people. I remember how many years I couldn't watch this sort of thing because it's not easy to get access, especially, say, for instance, if I'm a 13-year-old kid.
YouTube.
I mean, how am I? Yeah. Well, not feeds for matches.
No, but you get the highlights at least, don't you, from the actual leagues, which is good. But this is when you like stuff like Match of the Day on BBC. I mean, Match of the Day was good when it was around in the 2000s, but for me, I don't have time to watch it anymore because it's like an hour and a half long. But yet I can watch all the games within 3 minutes. You know, each game for 3 minutes on YouTube.
I do like extended highlights. I have to admit, I'm not a fan of short snippet highlights. And then I watch Match of the Day every week just in the background, and then I think to myself, well, I watched this game. I watched it, so why am I watching highlights again?
Are you one of those that sits in the corner of the lounge and just goes, oh, I know what happens here?
Ooh, and Klassen's giving them the lead. That was a weird goal. That was a weird goal.
Klassen of all people.
So Tadic gets taken down in some way. It looks like Roma could get back on the ball easily. Miscommunication between the midfield and defence. And Klassen just runs onto a loose ball in the middle of Roma's half. Gives it to Tadic, who's in space. And then Tadic looks like he can shoot, but then gives it back to Klassen. So a poor back pass there from Diawara. And And Mancini struggles to get on the ball, so, well, doesn't struggle, he just doesn't go for it, thinking that Diawara is going to go back to it. And then Klaassen jumps on the ball in midfield. So 1-0 to Ajax, and it's hard to say if it was deserved. I think on the balance of play, yeah, probably they have created better chances.
I'll have to. I don't even know what OBS looked now because it was disconnected.
Ajax got a decent chance just from the kickoff again, and
Oh, there we go. Seb is. Oh, straight. There we go. I think we're back live, folks. Sorry about that. I lost my Wi-Fi connection, it seems. It happened last night during the... Oh, I thought Ajax were going to make it 2-0.
yeah, exactly. That's what the chance I was talking about, eh?
That was a close one.
Good save from Lopez.
Very good save. I mean, imagine if they were 2-0 down. I know it's early days still, but it's not what you would have expected. But as Seb has said, AS Roma are a team that are unpredictable.
They'll either capitulate or come back. They won't keep it at 1-0. That's not an option for Roma. And Fonseca, considering, as I mentioned before, they were in the discussions for winning Serie A near the beginning of the season. If they capitulate tonight in the quarterfinal, I think that just not ruins, but it doesn't help Fonseca, considering he's not on the greatest of terms with the owners at the moment. So probably has to win to assure himself that he's got a job for the next few weeks. So I won't be surprised if they ended it soon. Oh yeah.
Soldado said last night that in an interview, I think it was last night or whenever, but he he said he didn't think he'd ever play Man United again.
Well, you never know, do you?
I think that just says it all about United's standard these days.
I think it says a lot about Soldado, what he thinks of himself.
What a crap player he is. I'm sorry.
No.
Tottenham, he was average as hell. I didn't rate him when he played for Spain for that little bit. Nah, just didn't rate him.
He was an old breed striker, one that needs to play up front in a 2, like Heskey. He needed that second person next to him, and he just didn't get it in modern football. Modern football doesn't provide that. If you're a striker who can only play in a 2 up front, then don't start playing football now or try changing your game.
Luke Shaw just got given a yellow card, which means he'll miss the next match.
Yeah, I always say that in a bet, if you bet on Luke Shaw to get a card, you might win more often than not.
I remember my mate Joe Hancock, who's a Everton fan. Even when Fellaini was at United, he'd always put a bet on him to get a yellow card.
Yeah, if I bet on United cards, I always bet on Fred and Luke Shaw.
Klazen's got 3 goals in 5 matches in the Europa League.
It's a good return, eh? And he's actually been influential in this game. He's been almost like a half 8, half 10 role, and he's dictated Ajax going forward.
Absolutely. I'll say it's now about Granada. They're giving United a good go here in the last few minutes. They've had a few set pieces.
They're actually a very well organised team. As I mentioned before, I don't watch excessive amounts of La Liga, but if they attack in numbers and very well organised, and they can defend as well. They're not the worst defensive outfit there. So it's not going to be particularly easy for United, and they can easily just sit back as well and let United play and hit United on the counter, which wouldn't be good for Solskjaer.
It's a bit annoying because the stream I'm trying to watch the night game on just keeps going off. But that's what happens when you use a web link.
Aye.
The iPad for my link for the game for Ajax Roma is no problem.
Good then. I like the role that Wrench is playing as well for Ajax tonight. He's almost doing, I don't want to over amplify it, but he's almost doing that Cancelo style role. I'd like to define it as Cancelo now, in a way. You're coming out from a right back position to play more in midfield, but not further out wide, more in a central role, and that's what he's doing tonight. And I really like it. I think he's doing okay there.
Absolutely.
And he's got little amount of game time for Ajax this season, so he's doing really well in the higher end competition.
I did like that Klazen goal. They've just showed the replay again.
It's just well worked, and it's Ajax typically pouncing on on mistakes that you make in your own final third or in your own half for that matter. They're relentless. They hunt down the ball non-stop.
I hate when they show the replay like 10 minutes after it was scored, because like if you start what you
Deceiving.
yeah, you just think hang on, they've scored again. Oh no, that's the goal before.
Uh, I think so many people have made that error while commentating on it.
Oh yeah, I certainly have.
Yeah. So for that matter, okay, do you think, I'm just going to bring this question up.
2 minutes of added time.
Do you think Ten Hag stays at Ajax for long?
I've no idea. You're asking the
It's
wrong
hard,
man.
isn't it? Yeah. Because I don't think anyone really knows. I've got no idea because we've talked about Ten Hag even when the Bayern job came up last time round and nothing concrete came of that. Ten Hag is a man who has managed the Bayern Munich second team, I think it was. So he has connections there. Maybe if Flick goes to the national team, does Ten Hag get a run at Bayern? If Nagelsmann doesn't take the job.
I can't see Flick going anywhere.
Why not?
I just can't. I think he said the other day he's committed to Bayern, but of course that's easy to say now because he hasn't been offered anything. But I don't know. I can't see it. It makes sense that Flick would get the job for Germany, but
Then who
I
else
just
is there?
well he's done it before as a coach. I just think would that be enough for him? I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, if he wins the World Cup with Germany in a short space of time, then at Euros, he won't even have been a manager for 10 years, and he'll be considered one of the greatest.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm at halftime here.
So I've got about 30 seconds left of the stoppage time. So I will. Oh, where have you gone? There we go. So half time, Ajax 1, AS Roma 0. The only goal scorer in that game so far is Klazan, the Ajax man who's been quite a player for them this season since he returned. This is his second spell with the club, of course, after he went to Everton back in 2017. His last ever game before he left Ajax was, of course, the Europa League final against United. So he left on a I wouldn't say a bad way to end, but I don't think he liked the idea of being a runner-up in a European Cup final. Just watching United now trying to find a second goal. Greenwood couldn't do anything with the ball and he's lost it. And I think, is that half-time? Yep, it's half-time there as well. And United lead 1-0 in that one. So there's at least 1-0s in the two games that we're mentioning. What's the other scores looking like, Seb?
So it's 0-0 between Arsenal and Slavia Prague, and it's 1-0 to Villarreal against Dinamo Zagreb. Goal from Moreno on a penalty just before half time.
Did Emery get the assist?
I'll give it to him. It's a penalty, so
he's the manager. He should get the assist for anything. He's the one who made it happen. Absolutely.
No, never gets the goals. Always the assists.
Do get in touch with us, folks, on our live chat page. Do subscribe to the channel as well. We would love to get to 600 in the next few watch-alongs. Where, of course, if you're wondering what's coming up on the channel, as I mentioned before, we've got France women versus England women in tomorrow night's women's football game. That kicks off at 8:10. So do join me, keep me company for that. Be interested to see how the Lionesses do. And, of course, they actually play Canada women next week as well, which we'll probably not do a watch-along for that due to the Champions League taking place that night. Also, this weekend, we're doing the Masters Golf. Oh, excuse me. Oh, God. I'm feeling this week. We've also got the Golf Masters happening. Of course, it's actually started now. So, of course, it started today. Day one, of course, it's a 4-day tournament in Augusta. I'll just find out the latest leaderboard. But when I last checked, Lee Westwood was not having a good one. And it looks as though McIlroy is still struggling as well, which Rory McIlroy, I've put it out there and I've said it for a few years now, which I don't think he'll ever win the Masters golf tournament just after what happened in 2011, because he really knew how to absolutely fuck it up in less than 9 holes. At the moment, you've got Brian Harman at top, who's been on form this season. Matsuyama is second for Japan. The only him and Siro Kim and Sung Ji-am are the main Asian players up there at the moment. Patrick Reed, of course, a Masters champion in 2018, I think it was. 2018, I think it was. It was one of those years. Webb Simpson, it's Shane Lowry. Now, Shane Lowry, I was there when he won the Open, so it'd be good to see him up there again. John Ram is tied at 8. Justin Rose tied at 8. Of course, Justin Rose, a man that is always consistent at the top, but if you went to his trophy room, you'd be like, I thought you were consistent. Yeah, but I didn't win any. Kevin Kisner, prick. Cameron Champ. We got Shanda Schufele as well. Paul Casey. Matthew Fitzpatrick. Jordan Spieth. Henrik Stenson's joined 20th now. He was a lot further up earlier on. But there is a big storm supposed to be coming in tonight or tomorrow morning, I believe, in Augusta, which could make the golf be delayed a little bit. We'll see. But there could be a very interesting weekend to come. So it's very early days at the Masters. And of course the prize money is over $11.5 million. So it's quite a lot of money on hand for the Masters despite a pandemic. But I'm sure the golfers, all these big pro golfers out there, probably going, pandemic? What pandemic? I'm still playing my golf. Literally, the PGA Tour has been going non-stop since the first pandemic anyway. So yeah, Matsuyama and Harman, the leaders at the Masters. So do join us on Saturday night and Sunday night as we'll watch the final groups for both nights on here. Joe Stanley might be joining me at least for the Sunday night, hopefully, and also the Saturday night. Seb True, have you got any football you're doing this weekend?
I don't think I can, but
He hasn't
I'll
done his
try.
homework, folks.
No. I mean, generally, my time is limited this weekend, unfortunately.
Oh dear, he must be off to see a donkey.
Anyway. No. It's revision weekend. What a weekend.
We've just seen. I wanted to bring this up because Mbappe's been mentioned on our group chat. Of course, he is probably the hot take right now. Everyone's going on about him. Which is actually our friend Andrew Pollard, which if any of you watched us do the Wales-Mexico game a couple of weeks ago, Andy joined me for that on the watch along. He says, Mbappe to Man United, I've heard from an inside source, can't name names at this stage obviously, but it's nearly a done deal. It's the player that wants it, which is why the PSG offer was turned down. United currently working on making the finances available. Massive help from sponsorship on this one. And then our good friend Luke Tanner, who thinks Mbappe is not going. It is going. Well, he wouldn't be surprised. He wants it to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Which is Mbappe to Liverpool. Luke Tanner has said that's just as likely as Mbappe going to Liverpool. I mean, I don't know. Andy could be joking. I have no idea. I've not seen those rumours. I've not really been reading rumours today because I can't see Mbappe going to United. But if that did happen, my God, that'd be amazing. But what do you think of that, Seb?
I think Andy's winding us up, firstly.
I hope he is. But no, I hope he isn't. What am I saying? But that's what I would have thought. But I would believe it because I would easily believe that.
I don't see Mbappe ever going to United. Maybe just because I think Mbappe has stated that he has the affection for Liverpool and Real Madrid. So those are the obvious clubs. I don't see why he would go anywhere else. I'm not sure considering he's got all the options and he has preferences that he doesn't hide. I don't see why he would go to United. I don't see it happening. Haaland United, maybe.
We'll see.
Mbappe, I don't
see.
think so.
We'll see. I'll just make sure I won't buy a shirt again with a name on it before they actually sign.
Got Connor saying, hello, gents. Question for you both. Do you think the era of the big six, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, and Tottenham, in terms of Premier League position finish, is over? I think I mentioned this on our group the other week as well. I thought it probably is.
Well, Leicester are definitely.
Leicester in the conversation.
They've got to be in a big six. Yeah, they've been in it for the last 2 years.
I think the first obvious one to fall out is Arsenal because they're the one that hasn't competed in the Champions League. Yeah, the team out of all those six that haven't been in the Champions League for the longest, that have been outside the Champions League for the longest. There we go. So I think they're the first obvious one to drop out, and Leicester are the first obvious one to jump into their position. But then it's like that era where there was the top four. Remember when, well, the era of 2000 when Mourinho came to England and there was that top four established of United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah,
It changes.
it does change.
City and Tottenham came into the conversation. I think Arsenal might drop out of that conversation. Leicester might join it. There are always changes. So we will stop talking about this big six. It'll take a little while, but we will stop talking about it. And
Yeah,
then he's nice.
I think
Yeah, go on.
I think Leicester. I mean, if we're talking Big Six, I think you should at least look at the season before as well as the current season. And I think when Leicester have consistently been up there under Brendan Rodgers, I think Leicester are definitely Big Six. I think Big Six is still a thing. I just think you change the clubs a little bit. Like, I mean, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, but now Leicester along with Liverpool. But yeah, I'll be happy to say Tottenham are out of the Big Six.
So we'll just. I think
just
it will
don't.
take a bit,
I don't know. It's a tricky one.
I think it will take a bit longer to establish this new top six or new top seven, top
But it
five,
keeps changing.
whatever we want to call it.
But it's like in
It's not that it
tennis.
keeps changing.
It's
just,
they had the big four at one point, and then Andy Murray drifted off.
but
and
he was
now
still in that top
he
four.
was yeah
He
yeah.
was outside of the top four.
But only for a bit. But then the moment he started to really drift off, it's now just been big three.
Of course.
Yeah, I
But
get what
then
you mean
think
though.
about
Like
it.
when he's not big four.
Last season was one where we didn't have the top six finishing top six. The only one that was in his place was Leicester replacing Arsenal. The season before that,
in the big four.
the top okay, the top six the season before last was the top six as we know it. So it's not going away anytime soon. Might soon enough, but it's not going away straight away. This idea of top six, because it has been proven not too far in the past that it still is a top six in some sense. And people also like to establish that with financial power. So the fact that these six teams have a lot more financial resources than, say, your Leicester's, West Ham's, or I don't know who else is going to be participant in that top six question. If it weren't for Wolves, maybe Wolves could have been pushing for it, but then the way they've dropped off a cliff this season, maybe not. And Connor's also followed up the question saying, "Oh, do you think there will be a resurgence from the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham?"
I think Arsenal are in big trouble.
I actually was going to say the opposite. I think Tottenham are more in big trouble.
I think both are probably on the same boat.
I think Mourinho will continue with regression, and if you want to sack him, then you are paying what his contract is 18 million a year, and he's got 2 years left. So if they want to terminate that contract, they are going to lose a lot of revenue, and also they're still paying off the stadium. Tottenham are probably going to go through this Arsenal phase that Arsenal went through for ages because they had to pay off the Emirates Stadium. So I think
Arsenal have just been
struggle.
I think Arsenal have been a terrible club since they won the FA Cup in 2005. I just don't. I know they've won a few FA Cups since, but
they got to the final of the Champions League in 2006, and that was a good run.
Well, no, I mean, I'm on about when they last won a decent trophy, when they looked good. Like, you actually believed in that Arsenal team, thinking, yes, they're a good team. But, like, the Champions
League... They looked like a favourite going to the final of the FA Cup that year, that 2005 year. Unlike recent years, I'd say that...
But they were dangerous. There hasn't been an Arsenal team I've feared for over 10 years now. And I think... The 2006 team, yeah, they were great. But that felt like the end after that. It felt like, the move to the Emirates was weeks after, and it did. It felt like of course, hindsight's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't have thought that back then. I'd look at it now and say maybe 2006 was the end of an era for Wenger's squad, where Henry would have moved 12 months after that Champions League final. Vieira disappeared, which. Vieira going to Inter Milan, that was a big... I was really surprised, I remember. That was a big blow, because they haven't replaced him. They still haven't replaced Vieira in my eyes.
But one thing that I think was really key was, it's easy enough saying, Henry leaving, these big players, Vieira leaving. Then when Cesc Fabregas still not probably at his prime, and Nasri just before his prime leaving, okay, that was starting to get a bit worse. But then when you had the likes of Bakary Sagna, Adebayor and Clichy all leaving... for clubs like Manchester City, so players that wouldn't even be considered
they were the
in the
feeder
starting lineup
club
for Arsenal.
to Man City.
But to say that they weren't even considered, they wouldn't have been considered in the starting lineup in 2005. But
no, of course.
Later on, when they were getting pipped away for better clubs, you thought, wow, Arsenal have dropped, and that was the
Well, yeah,
shocking part.
but this is
That
what I
was the
mean.
real
But,
shocking
but, but
part.
this is what I mean by it felt like an end of an era where Arsenal are not a
Hmm.
laughable club. And I
Yeah,
think
it seemed.
sadly
Yeah,
Arsenal have become a laughable club. Even with the stuff like AFTV that they've got, that fan YouTube channel, that created more of that made it even worse. I thought. I don't think it
yeah,
represented the club very good at all. Um, which they used to be called Arsenal Fan TV, and now they changed the name. And then the guy who runs it said they didn't get asked to change the name. I wonder. But
and
I don't. I just think sadly with Arsenal, look, there's always a chance to rebuild, and look at Liverpool. They haven't won the league in 30 years, and then they go and do it, and they've been
of
great in the
course,
last 2-3 years. As much as I hate
resurgence is
to
always
say it,
possible.
exactly. And I think Arsenal are one team that can do that. They've got the facilities. Okay, I'm not saying they have got the money, but I'm sure they can get that
They
money
do.
if they can do it
They do.
right. They do, according to Seb. Seb, of course, is an accountant at Arsenal
No, I'm
FC,
not,
which
but
he
they do have
hasn't
the
told
money.
us. But there has been rumours. I have read stuff that they have got money for this summer, which is good for Arteta because that means they are, they're giving him more
Hmm.
time and they're going to let him build, which is great because I think Arteta does deserve time. I know the season's been poor, but he's only had the job for just over a year. And let's not forget, last year, 3 months of it, we didn't have any football because of the
Hmm.
pandemic. So he deserves time, and that FA Cup win was not a fluke. It was a good win. They beat Chelsea. They beat Man City. In the semi and the
Hmm.
final. I thought they did great. For Tottenham, I don't know where the future is for Tottenham. I think Kane could be gone this summer. I don't know. Well, again,
Mm.
Kane. We've said that before, and then Kane stays. So we'll see. Kane loves the
I,
club. We know that.
I'm gonna have to leave you, Jamie. I've really got to go to the toilet.
He's got to go to the toilet. I'll speak for a minute. Actually, we will have a 5 minute break, so don't rush back, Seb. We will have a 5 minute break before the. Well, actually, the game's about to resume, I think. But I could do with a quick drink as well. But we got a question here from Connor Porter again. He says, pick one: Porto winning the Champions League or Ajax winning the Europa League. Well, I think I can't see Porto coming back against Chelsea, so I think that's out. That's done. I think that scenario won't happen. Ajax, surprising me, I feel, because I'll say this now about the Eredivisie. I'm not disrespecting the league, but I just think the standard is just not there for Ajax week in, week out to worry and play so hard. While when they play in a game like this against AS Roma, they know that they're up against a team that would probably beat all the teams in that Dutch league themselves as well. So I don't think either team's going to win it. So I would say none. But who knows? It's easy for me to say that because I'm a United fan and my team are in it in the Europa League. But I'll be honest, I don't think we're favourites. I just, after that severe defeat last year, I just, it makes you so easy to think you're going to get to the final and then that happens. Anyway, the second half has just begun. So Ajax from left to right, Roma from right to left, Roma in all white, Ajax in all black. It's a good question. I mean, like, if Ajax won the Europa League, would anyone have thought that at the start of the season? Probably not. I mean, Ajax, a team that were in the Champions League group stages, but it was always going to be hit and miss if they were going to go through because you had Atalanta who made the quarterfinals and you had Liverpool, and it's Liverpool. If Liverpool didn't make out the group stages, then you'd be asking for Jurgen Klopp's head. But Connor Porter says, "I just meant which one would you like to see happen?"
I'd like
I
to see
don't.
both.
I would like to not see either. I'd like to see either Mbappe or Lewandowski to win the Champions League. Mainly because with Lewandowski, he deserves the Ballon d'Or, so I'd like to see him win the Champions League and cement it. For me, with the Europa League, I want to see United win it. So, of course, I'm going to be biased, but that's what I'm going to say.
I think I would like to see Ajax win the Europa League more um, than Porto win the Champions League, and I think it's more based off just the merit. This team got to a semi-final Champions League. They've been competitive in Eredivisie, and I think, yeah, just a bit more deserving of that European title in recent years. And I say that, yeah, Porto have probably got to more quarterfinals recently than Ajax, so
I would have loved to have
a bit
seen
of a
Ajax
redundant
in that
argument, but
final. I'd have loved to
it's
have
just
seen Ajax in that final. I think the Spurs Liverpool game. I mean, it was dreadful anyway. I can't remember much from it. It was that boring.
mm,
But I just think sometimes it's nice to actually see two teams that haven't faced each other for a long time. You know, they don't know each other really. They can study as much as they can before a final. But I just felt like the Spurs Liverpool game, I was excited for it because it's an all English final. But sometimes having an all English final could be dull because they kind of know each other, and it's kind of like, no, you go first. No, we'll give it a go. And they were both very secure. You know, they were very defensive. I felt.
And it would never be. There's
even,
never a dull game with Ajax, is there?
No, exactly. And I'm not saying Ajax would have beaten Liverpool. I still think Liverpool would have won. But I think Ajax would have given them a good game. And I think, that we knew before that season had even finished, we knew that Ajax were going to lose some of those youngsters. And they had to make the most out of that squad before they all went their separate ways. It's no different to that 1995 team. You know, they won with some of their academy, most of their players from the youth system that won that Champions League, and it was a breath of fresh air in football. And if that happened in 2019, it would have been a repeated story, but with a different squad. And it would have shown that the Ajax foundations and the whole setup and their belief and their religion in terms of bringing up youngsters still works.
Well, they did prove that. There was proof that it still worked.
Yeah. But I think I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just saying that winning a trophy would cement it. It would make people get rid of the doubters. But I mean, look, everyone loves a youth system working for a club. Who doesn't? You know, Jose Mourinho probably. But yeah, I just think. Yeah, I'd have liked to have Ajax seen at least get to that final. They were seconds away, but sadly that Dele Alli ball to Lucas Moura ended it.
Yep. I actually bet at half-time that Tottenham would qualify, same as I bet at half-time Liverpool would qualify against Barcelona. So I got two decent bets there. But to come on to the Ajax one, it would have been, I think it was the youngest captain to ever get to a semi-final with De Ligt at 19. So it would have been the youngest captain to get to a final at the age of 19 as well. And it's a shame that they didn't get there in the end. But I was happy for Tottenham because I thought with Ajax, most of their team, these youngsters will get another chance. The likes of Eriksen, the likes of Kane, I'm not sure they will. Despite them probably being better players in their own way, I didn't think that they would get another chance because of their age. Whereas De Jong, I still am confident he'll get to some sort of final to lift the same. Maybe not Blind, but most of those players in that squad, I would have believed that they could still get their hands on a European trophy. Sorry.
I'm going to go get a drink.
Oh,
I'd hold the fort.
So just before Pau Gomez just gave the ball away cheaply to Anthony, and Roma have gone into a phase where they look uncomfortable in the early stages of the second half, just like in the first half. They Ajax come right out of the blocks and Roma can't string a few passes together in their own half, and Ajax are all over them. And there's a penalty shot there, and it's been given. And that's Ibanez who's given the penalty away there, cheaply, really cheaply. Yet the referee's not having any of it, and it was a poor tackle from Ibanez. I don't know what he's doing. Tadic has almost got his body away from goal. Ibanez is the wrong side of him. Okay, Tadic could come in and take a shot with his left foot, as he is capable of, but Ibanez doesn't need to make that tackle. It's hasty, it's unnecessary, and it's a penalty. And I'm guessing by the time Jamie gets back, he'll probably see the foul. So Roma just many mistakes in this second half already, and Tadic can put this in and give them a 2-goal advantage. And Kenny just waiting for him to take it now. Take it, and he's terrible penalty. Pau Gomez doesn't even move. Tadic trying to be clever, but also taking it a bit to the side, and wasn't good enough to get past Pau Lopez. Sorry, I'm saying Gomez Lopez. Yeah, so you might just get to the penalty now, Jamie.
Oh what? Oh yeah. It's just got
clear penalty. Ibanez commits the foul, and it's completely stupid decision to make. But then, have you seen this penalty yet?
Yeah, that's a penalty.
Have you seen the penalty though yet?
Oh no.
Okay.
Why has he done that? That's such a.
There's no point. His back is almost the way to goal, except It could have left foot shots in, but it was unlikely given the position. So it didn't really need to make that foul.
Trying to learn how to use this camera because sometimes it makes me blurry.
Focus.
Hello, focus.
Have you seen the penalty yet, Jamie?
No, give me a chance.
God, it's taken forever to set that penalty, didn't he?
To be honest, I'm more fussed about my camera. Oh, Tadic. Oh dear.
What a bad penalty, right?
You can't miss that.
You can't just shoot it right at the goalkeeper if the goalkeeper's not going.
It's the way
Usually
it's
it's a
the way
technique,
the
you've gotta-
goalkeeper. It's the way the goalkeeper saved it. The body language was like, really?
Yeah. So when you're taking a penalty, if you want to shoot it down the middle, you've got to indicate with your body language that you're going to put it into one of the corners. Like you can see a lot of people already opening themselves up to try and shoot it that way, to outwards, or they're starting to run inwards to try and bend it to the other side. But Tadic it almost seems obvious that he's going to shoot down the middle, and he does. So Lopez, no problem. And that was a wasted chance from Tadic. Oh, and Deco's just had a shot at the far post
There
now.
we go.
Header. There we go, Jamie. Deco's just had a shot that's gone wide from a header. And first real chance for Roma in the second half. They've been abysmal to say the least in the second half. Error after error. Oh, and now Ajax have given a free kick away in a cheap position. Yeah, and that's Alvarez who's given the free kick away. Never looked comfortable receiving the ball in that position, and then
United have got a free kick.
Foul. Stupid foul to give away there. Pedro's clever in the way he covers the ball. You're on the United game as well.
Yeah. Don't tell me who scores. If there's a goal,
No,
don't tell me.
I've not been paying attention. I've been
I
all
actually
eyes on Ajax. Been all eyes on Ajax. It's Pellegrini who's going to take the free kick. Now, this really bothers me, and I think I mentioned this a few times. He's got that armband on his right arm.
Why should it be on the left?
Yep, usually you got to be on the left.
Why is that?
So usually on the right you have your armbands, say for commiserations or condolences. You know, if the player has passed, then you put the black armband to pay respects on the right arm, and the captain's one is on the left. That's usually tradition. There are some captains who get it wrong and put it on the right arm. For instance, Pellegrini. For instance, Vincent Kompany put it on the wrong arm. I think it's also a question. It's just also a bit more traditional. That's it. There's no real rule about it. It's just tradition. On Pellegrini takes a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sherpen's fucked up big time there. Oh god, the young goalkeeper's really fucked up there.
Is it a goal?
And Roma have got a goal back. A really low free kick to the far post, and Sherpen just lets it go through him. He's onto it. He sees the ball going to that far post, and he just over jumps almost, and almost Neuer-esque lets it go through his legs, I think.
He's watched too much Neuer.
Yeah, and oh no, it doesn't go through his leg. He just dives a bit too far.
Oh dear.
And actually, Roma play that really well. They get a man coming across from the wall, who then eventually ducks, and it blindsides Sherpen there. Well played from Roma, but it's a poor goal from the goalkeeper standards. That's a bad goal to give away.
So there you have it.
It's unfortunate for the goalkeeper.
An equaliser
So-
and an away goal.
An away goal, yes. So Fonseca can breathe a sigh of relief, and Tadic will be questioned by his teammates for missing that penalty 4 minutes earlier.
I'm just
So
seeing
Sherpen
the,
has
just about to
not
see the free
clean
kick.
sheet yet. So Sherpen has played 4 matches recently for the under-21s in Holland, and for Ajax that one match before this one last weekend, and he hasn't kept one clean sheet, which is
Oh no.
so.
Oh,
Netherlands,
mate.
Romania under-21s drew 1-1 with the Netherlands. Germany under-21s drew 1-1 with Netherlands under-21s. Then Netherlands under-21s beat Hungary under-21s 6-1. So he still conceded that goal, and Sherpen didn't keep a clean sheet. And then Herven, I think it's pronounced, losing 1-2 to Ajax this weekend, still getting the goal. So Sherpen 5th game in a row and no clean sheets yet. He had that good save from Cristiano before. Zeko's in here. If that's a save, it's a very good save. So the ball is bounced off Zeko and in the box, and it looks like it does look like it's going out, but I thought Sherpen got a hand to it, and apparently he didn't, so it's given a goal kick.
So Manuel Pellegrini's son has scored.
Is it Manuel Pellegrini's son?
I'm leaving that for you to not know.
I won't know, no.
Nah, it's not. Nah, I don't think so.
I think it's, yeah,
He's not from Argentina, is he? No, Chile. No, where's he from?
You mean Pellegrini scored? He's Italian, isn't he, Lorenzo?
Ah.
But you know they can take nationalities. So let's see if he's got any relatives. He probably does have a father who was a football player of some sort. You know, most Italians do. You find out that their dad was a football player, and you're like, oh, okay, that happened. Yeah.
Stecklenburg
So now,
watching on, hiding in the mask, thinking, I would have saved that.
Well, yeah, he would have realistically, wouldn't he? I mean, Stecklenburg as well, another tall goalkeeper, another ex-Everton player.
Yeah, and a World Cup finalist.
I say ex-Everton like as if he didn't play for Southampton, Fulham, and Roma as well, because he played for Roma for quite a while. So even more reason for him to want to play, not because he was an ex-Everton player.
Of course, next weekend the MLS starts. We're going to be doing a watch along of that Saturday night, next Saturday night, 8 o'clock. And guess who it is, Seb? No, it's Sunday night.
It's into Miami. It's got to be into Miami.
It is versus, who is it? Go on, you'll know it.
I'll know the team. Is it LA Galaxy?
It is.
Like
well done. That's no goldfish for him. But yes, I don't have one. But yes, we'll be.
It's Beckham against his old club.
Beckham against his old club.
Is that the thing they're selling for the media?
Yeah, I bet it is. But also, Sky Sports are broadcasting it, so it must be a big thing.
Yeah, it's exciting what Inter Miami are doing, but then you realise 2 or 3 years into the project when it doesn't really go anywhere because it's American football. With all due respect to American football, it just doesn't get the hype around it. But then 2 or 3 years after, it'll just be another one of those American projects like
New York
like
Cosmos.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, I'd like to see American football kick off. I do fear it won't.
It never will.
Oh, and Sherpen's intercepted the cross there quite well, so he's trying to rectify that mistake from before.
The one thing I like about the MLS is the atmosphere. There are proper fans who actually, it's loud, which is good to see.
Sporting event. To be fair to them.
What's that? Sorry.
The Americans know how to hold a sporting event.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sport's one of their passions. There's no doubt. But it's a fact. Like for example, LAFC. I've watched a few LAFC games in Seattle. LAFC, is one of those projects where it's only been around for a few years, but it's been great. It's actually worked. Carlos Vela has been their main man. They've even made a poster of Carlos Vela, which Seb will know because he's been in an Indiana Jones film with toilet rolls. It's a drawing of Carlos Vela as Indiana Jones with the treasure. It's great. But yeah, I
like the way that Nani's a captain of Orlando as well.
I know. I love it. I love Nani. Orlando played the night before against Atlanta United on the opening weekend, so I might watch that one as well. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely watching Inter Miami. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Where I was a bit unsure about Inter Miami because at the end of the day, the reason why it's happening is because when Beckham got that contract at Galaxy, the contract said that he could set up his own franchise, which he's done. So he's done it. It's just whether or not it'll last.
What terms for that contract then? Because how can a club sign a player and say, okay, you sign for us, and then you get the chance to set up your own franchise? What is this? Is this a club from the league that gave him permission?
I have a feeling the MLS made that happen. I honestly think they looked at the whole Beckham move and think we've got to make the most out of this transfer because of the media actually looking at the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big move, wasn't it? It was a bit of a, why has he gone to Real Madrid to LA Galaxy in a way? But it was one of those things when it just happened, didn't it? It happened. You read about it, and then that's it. But I think I don't know. It was a weird one. It was a weird one. But that's what happened. That's what I do know. He got on the contract. He could get a franchise, which, it's been built. They're in their second ever season. They've got a manager of Phil Neville in to start off the new campaign. Again, though, Seb, as you just said, I just have this feeling that it won't last. I just think in 3-4 years' time, it might just be you buy the shirt to remember the club by.
Yeah, you'd hope that the owner, that being David Beckham, would still stay invested in the club and not just lose interest knowing that they get into the playoffs and they make their revenue. You'd hope that he'd try and make sure that they push on, because that is the whole point of this investment in the MLS now. It's to try and kick on and make American football that big franchise, not just be content. And that's why I think that the playoff system should change as well. I know it won't, because it's very typically American, the way that most teams do qualify for the playoffs. But if it did change, and it probably create a bit more of a competitive atmosphere, or a competitive league at that, and there'd be more at stake. So I think the MLS's own format is what is holding it back at the moment.
There is also a new club starting this year. This is when it makes the MLS have 27 teams, which is Austin FC. And guess who owns that?
Is that not Matthew McConaughey?
Well done. Yep, that's another right answer there from Seb. He's nailing it tonight. But yeah, Matthew McConaughey owns that. Again though, it's a group that owns it, but Matthew McConaughey is the rightful owner. But it's just for me, again, it's just another thing. I look at it as positive news. I think this is great. Get money. That's more money, more opportunities, and a new club to a league that, quite frankly, not proper football fans aren't fussed about. Let's be honest.
Well, it's just that in those regions, I know that there's now a second Los Angeles club, but there was only one in California. There's not very many in Texas. I think there's one. There's Houston Dynamo and FC Dallas. But you see, Texas is one of the biggest states in America. So the fact that they're not as represented in soccer terms seems a bit weird. And you want to create rivalries in dense places like that. So it's all the better for the league.
And they had, in 2019, they had a playoff match between LA Galaxy and LAFC, which proved to be quite a cracking game. You had Vila up against Zlatan, and even though the whole game was about the whole prep was all about Zlatan, yet Carlos Vila was the star man of the game. So, this is what I mean. This is when
top scorer at that time.
And top scorer at the time. So, like I said before, LAFC is proving to actually be quite an interesting project, where it's actually going towards being a good team. But I think my two favourite teams are Seattle Sounders and Portland Timbers. Seattle Sounders have proven to be a long-term club. They've proven to be very consistent at the top, winning a few MLS Cups. And the atmosphere looks amazing. And also, their stadium is shared with Seattle Seahawks, which, of course, Seattle Seahawks are the NFL team. And guess which one's had more fans in a venue? Seattle Sounders.
Really? Okay, I'm shocked about that.
Because they hosted the MLS Cup final against
Toronto. Or is it high capacity for soccer? No.
Well, it might be just because of that, but the record's there. So, like I say, the one thing I do like about the MLS is that some of the games I've watched now and again, I do see a full stadium. So that says to me the MLS is strong, but it's just something that it's going to be the 5th most talked about sport in America, basically.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, the competitiveness is really a shame. So, what is it, about 18 of the 28 teams are qualified for the playoffs? So you play a whole season knowing you've basically got your space unless you're really bad. So it's a shame. I think there should be a different format, and the fact there's no relegation as well. In my opinion, I think that has to change a bit if they want to create a real competitive environment. I say that, but then in the likes of ice hockey and American football, they're the most competitive, probably because they haven't got that much competition. But it's that system. It's that American system. Most qualify for the playoffs, and there is no relegation system.
I think it works in the NFL and maybe baseball, and as you say, hockey.
And ice hockey it does as well, yeah.
And hockey. But hang on. But the fact that you've got that system that's never used in any other country in football, then makes you think, no, for once, Americans, just follow what everyone else is doing in football.
Exactly. If you've got a competitive environment, also with other countries, they're competing with Europe. They're competing with Brazil to try and get the best talents. Oh, and Brobbey's in here. Oh, and Lopez does well. And Brobbey's been a right handful since coming on. He's a very strong player, and even at such a young age, 19, he looks like the most built in that on that pitch there. And he is obviously one of the very few clients of Mino Raiola, Brobbey.
Oh, I've just seen the shot.
He is
He's
an
still,
absolute unit, isn't he?
yeah, he's definitely been messing around with Mr. Traore.
Him and Traore, imagine.
I love it how Traore gets his arms oiled up, and I just think,
And
well,
he's like, "No, I don't work out." Oh yeah, yeah, okay, sure, mate.
I mean, I can't. How can he not be?
Nah, he has to work out. I don't believe it for one
I don't know
second.
how you can get a
If
body
if
like
if
that without
someone's
working
if
out.
someone says they don't, if he says he doesn't work out, then that's more questions for
And when does
the
it?
association to. If you're saying I don't work out, then the associations must be looking at that saying, if we give him a doping test, because that's suspicious. You can't just get built like that. I don't mean to slander him in any sort of way possible, because I don't believe he is taking any sort of doping drugs. I believe he works out, but you can't not work out and get built like that. It's not possible. But yeah, Brobbey's also one that is very strong at such a young age, and he could be a very big talent as well. Another product of this Ajax academy, which is
Ajax
great to
just
see.
keep recruiting. Absolutely. This United Granada game's, I'd say it's boring, but you know, United only 1-0 up. They could do with getting a second away goal.
It's not boring when you see Rashford trying to do a roulette in the opposing 16-yard box.
I can't put my mind up on Rashford. I really can't.
I think he has sometimes. Oh, and Timber's lost it in a dangerous position, and Decker looks in, and that's got to be a foul there, surely. A foul from Wrench. I think he's going to take a yellow for this. Yeah, he does take a yellow for it. Deco looked in on goal there, and only Martinez there to cover for Ajax. Martinez against Deco and was it Pellegrino? Pellegrini, sorry. He just pulls on Deco's shirt. Yeah, clear foul. And I've actually kind of liked Wrench in this game. I think he's done well. I like what he's doing, as I mentioned, the Cancelo role. I like what Duncan Alexander, the pundit, came up with, saying Cancelo culture, because I thought that was just perfect, you know. I don't know if you know about cancel culture, but it comes from that pun. Now Roma have a free kick in a decent position. It's going to be Pellegrini again. Similar position to where he got the goal. Oh, and he just takes it quickly and sharpens onto it.
I've only just recently found out, Seb, that this touchscreen pen is also a pen.
Okay, what's it? Screen pen?
It's got, you know, it's got the end where you can do touchscreen on a pen.
Yeah, but it don't work for all touchscreens.
It does. I know what you mean. It doesn't for my iPhone, but it does for my iPad. It's really weird.
Oh, okay. For the same Apple products, that seems weird. Because I
Very
know that
weird.
I know that they say, for instance, for Microsoft Surfaces, different touch screens and all that, they purposely make sure that the pens have a different reaction to different screens so that you can't use them.
Yeah.
I have at my, without plugging in too many brands, my brother has a Microsoft computer touch screen, and I have an HP one, and his pen would definitely not work, and it was purposely done. Oh, and I have a good chance there. Anthony tries cleverly backheeling it into the goal there.
The pen does work.
And as Cavani let his yeah, the pens don't work. They purposely make them so they don't work.
No, the pen does work for me.
Ah.
Maybe it's just you, Seb.
I've actually lost my pen to my touchscreen. Well. Oh well.
What touchscreen do you have? A Surface?
No, I have an HP. HP.
Are they good?
It's I'm surprised this thing has lasted me 3 years, not only, but also the amount of programs that I've got on it is unbelievable. I've got the whole Adobe suite and a lot of simulating programs that take so much RAM up, like MATLAB, COMSOL, and all that. I've actually got 2 versions of MATLAB which make the RAM just fan out to the max, and my computer's still alive, and I do not know how, and alive and well at that.
I do
Can't
like
complain.
I do like the idea of Maguire misses the next match now. Oof.
Hefty there.
This is
Does that mean he plays at the weekend? So Shaw and Maguire start at the weekend, right?
oh
Surely.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, but yeah, of course.
Tellers and Bailly for the return leg.
Looks like it. I mean, Tears is playing tonight, so yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think he has. Yeah,
Is
he
he
has.
now?
He's taken Luke Shaw off. I didn't realise that.
Oh,
I'm sure
that's
he
a
has.
strange one. So Tellers will be playing a return fixture, yes, because Shaw is suspended.
Yeah, he'll have to.
Luke Shaw's taken off for Tellers at half time. Yeah,
But I,
weird one, but
but this is when like United could just do with winning this game 2-0. Just get those 2 away goals just in case. I mean, get as many away
yeah.
goals as you can, but I think realistically 2-0's. I can't see United scoring 3. That's for sure. Here they come now.
No, Pellegrini's gone down, and Tadic is wearing his captain's armband right, but you can barely see it because it's under his shirt. Oh, I'm so tempted to get a Tadic Ajax shirt. Pellegrini's down from the Tagliafico tackle.
And he did recently
That
get
Ajax
an
away
Immobile shirt.
But not, that's the third kit, the one that they're wearing tonight. The away shirt is the grey one. The grey and
Oh, the
you know
one
what I mean?
I've got.
Yeah, exactly. That's the away shirt.
I got Hunter and then he left.
Oh, when I was last
That was
when I
good
was last in
timing.
Holland, I was just looking at that away shirt for so long, tempted by it, but I was short of money. I had the money, but it was my last bit of money. I was thinking, do I get it? Do I get it?
How much
And
would
I
it have been?
decided against it. It was €80, I think.
Yeah, it's
I was so tempted. It was just such a beautiful shirt, and I was just standing there in the airport waiting, just going, I'm gonna wait till they called me to get on my flight, but that is tempting. I just didn't in the end.
I think I couldn't buy it from an airport either because the price is always going to be a bit pricey.
It was the same as in the shop, standard price.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When you start to find out where you can get these shirts for nothing, it's
You know better than me. I don't really.
yeah. If I went to like when we went to see Mönchengladbach play, yeah, of course I'll buy the shirt because I love the shirt, and it's probably the only time I'll ever go there. I don't know, but at least you could say it came
for
from.
less than that €80. You got the shirt and the jacket, didn't you?
I did,
I
yeah.
think that was less. I think that was less than what I would have paid for that Ajax shirt, just to say a bit. I'm not
Yeah.
too sure. You're the one who would know because you paid for that, but I think
But
that would
Ajax
have
are a
been
bigger club, aren't they? They're
well, Mönchengladbach is still a Bundesliga club, and at that point when you bought the shirt, they were a top 4.
they were top of the league. Yeah.
They were actually, yeah. I can remember that. Zeko's come off.
Yeah, I've just seen that. They made a double sub, haven't they?
Yeah, they've made a double sub, but not. It looks like they brought. I think they brought my roller on, and Verity's come off as well. Which
What's the
Again,
Arsenal score?
it's 0-0 though.
Slavia
nothing
Prague
really much
showing,
going on.
and that's at Arsenal, isn't it? So
It's at Arsenal.
Prague could miss out on a away goal there.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It seems like it's an advantage to be away from home in the second game, so you know how much you need to get, and your
Yeah.
goals are worth more.
Yeah. Do you agree?
So-
Do you agree with the away goal format? I think it makes it more exciting. I
Agree.
think there's more. I think there are teams that are more
Without
determined
doubt.
to score because of
It
that.
makes matches a lot more exciting, and that
Yeah.
was a really, really bad tackle there from. Can't see was it Perez? Yeah, that was awful there. Completely just wipes out the Ajax player. I think it's Tagliafico who took out. Gets a yellow, rightly so. Yeah, he just purposely leaves the leg hanging for Tagliafico to stumble over quite dramatically. I don't agree with the away goal rule. I don't agree with it.
Oh, you
but I
don't?
love it.
Yeah.
I don't agree with
yeah,
it. No, how
I-
can you
I-
agree with it? It's unfair. But I
it's-
do hope that it stays in place.
The one time I hated it was when United drew 4-4 with Bayern Munich in 2010. And we were great in that second leg, and then Robin scored that goal out of nowhere from a corner, and it didn't hit me. I think I cried that night. I was that pissed off that we lost, because we were really good in that game. I thought we were going to make another final if we carry on playing like this, and then obviously Bayern beat us, but it just didn't seem right with me to see the scoreline at 4-4. Obviously, it felt like a defeat because of the away goal system, but you just think, we've gone out because we drew. It just didn't. It doesn't seem right.
It's not fair. It's not
No,
fair.
it's not
And
fair.
it's especially not fair. I think it was Roma versus Porto last season. Oh no, 2 seasons ago, where it goes to extra time. And the fact that you're away, you get that goal, then you only give
Yeah,
your
that's not
opponent
fair.
30 minutes to come back. That's not
That's
fair
not fair.
whatsoever.
That's what
I think,
happened with Atletico Madrid and Liverpool last season. It went to extra time, and Atletico Madrid got 2 away
exactly.
goals.
Yeah, yeah. So even if they got the one, then it was an impossible challenge for Liverpool. So Lopez has just been forced into a very good save from Anthony there. Well, very good save. It was a decent save. But it's unfair, but I love the drama behind it. When it gets to extra time, I think they should cancel it out. I think they should think, okay,
Yeah,
away goals, whatever now.
scrapped.
It means nothing. It means nothing. It's whoever wins on aggregate, and that's it.
When you put it like that, it does amaze me that it does exist
It hasn't
in
been
extra
done.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense because you're getting more
It's an unfair
minutes to
advantage.
get an away goal.
Imagine if
It's
you
more
said to them,
opportunity.
okay, this match has ended in a draw, so we're going to replay the match for like one half and see what happens. But the away goals still count. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up a second.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right with
It
me.
wouldn't. It's not fair at all. I don't think it's fair in any case, the away goal. Well, kind of is, kind of isn't. But the fact that when it goes to extra time, no.
I think
Dante looks in here. No, no.
I think from a
It's cut out
neutral
by.
perspective, it's great because you do
Oh yeah,
see
yeah,
more
definitely.
hunger in games where there's going to be more goals than your usual two-legged game without away goals. But yeah, I think as a United fan, when I see my team in it, I hate it unless we've got the away goals. It's so easy to hate and like it.
Yeah, and if it weren't for away goals, we wouldn't have had that drama from Tottenham against Ajax in the semi-final.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Our reconnection successful apparently, so I think we're all right. Sorry about that, folks. We are back live, I think. I've no idea. I think we are. So apologies about that. Wi-Fi problems again. I promise you I will stop investing in the £10 a month for 2 baked bean tins and a piece of string. Apparently you can now get bulletproof and waterproof ones of that for 30 quid a month.
Ooh, and Tadic looked like he could get in, but Paul Lopez has saved that shot with his head. And he's taken a corner quickly, but that has come to nothing. I've not been impressed in the second half. It looked like it would be promising for Ajax in the first 10 minutes. Then it looked like it would be promising for Roma, and then it sort of died down. It's still quite exciting game, and I'm actually really quite impressed with a few different players like Diawara for Roma and Alvarez, who show great awareness, both of them. I think every time I turn my head, they seem to intercept the ball, both of them. So
Yeah.
they seem both quite impressive players, and Martinez at the back seems I'm liking as well, and Wrench for Ajax. I think there's some interesting players on show in this one.
It just shows that second leg's going to be a very feisty one.
I'd imagine so, and in recent times, second legs for Ajax and Roma have been feisty affairs. Not between both of them, but just for them both respectively.
Yeah.
They've been feisty affairs. I remember last season when I think it was Ajax who went out to Betis, was it? No, Getafe. Getafe it was.
Getafe, yeah.
And there was a record in that first leg for the amount of time the ball was actually in
Oh,
play.
Bruno. Oh, good save by the keeper. Bruno should have made it 2-0.
But he was offside.
Oh, was he?
He looks offside there.
Oh, Matic. No, nothing happening
That's
there.
a good save, actually. That's a really good save. Van der Beek's reaction there. What minute are you at for the United game?
Nearly 83.
Yeah, 83-20. Yeah.
Yeah, Fernandez is way offside.
Yeah, it looks offside. Oh, and there's been a yellow card here for... Is it Tagliafico there? No, it's Martinez for handballing it.
Martinez, one of the main centre-backs.
Alessandro Martinez, yeah.
Of course, hey, who knows? It could be Van der Beek versus Ajax in the next round.
It could be. It could be.
But again, Van der Beek will be like, yeah, right. That's if I make the team.
Obviously, yeah.
He'll be a spectator more like.
But the thing, the two centre backs, you got Timber who's 19 and Martinez who's 23. And if you're talking about if you want to take Wrench into account, he's 18. So it's a young Ajax back line there.
Matic now got a yellow card. Bloody hell, this ref's shit.
It's a feisty affair between Granada and United. But I was talking about Getafe before playing against Ajax. They knocked out Ajax in the Europa League last season. And in that first game, there was a record for the amount of times the ball was actually in play, because Getafe can be experts at wasting time. They said something like the amount of time the ball was actually in play was 42 minutes out of the 90. So we're talking about wasting time. Oh, it's a goal. Oh, what a goal.
Who's that for?
It's Ibanez. It's Roma 2-1.
Oh, they've turned it around.
What a goal that is. That is a fantastic goal from a corner. And Fonseca, as usual, never changes the motion. That was a fantastic corner, and Ajax were defending that poorly. They just defended in their own 6-yard box, almost all of them in that same zone, and then Ibanez has time to chest it down and still take it on the volley with his left foot in the goal. Brilliant finish from a centre-back. So Ajax get caught off there really badly. Klaassen is the one who heads it out, but Ibanez is on his own. And I think Klaassen was the one... No, he wasn't the one marking him. No, I don't know. It's bad marking from Ajax. Just outside the 6-yard box, and Ibanez is on his own. So I think that might have been Gravenberg who was supposed to be marking him. He gets dragged into the 6-yard box. All the Ajax players are on that line, and then Ibanez has a bit of space in the box and volleys at home. Good finish. So now Anthony's come off for Idrissi.
Oh, I've just seen it. Oh, good goal.
It's a good finish, isn't it? It's not a centre-back finish.
2 away goals for AS Roma.
Yeah, and they look in decent hands to go through, right?
I will see.
Mm.
I can't see Ajax beating them, to be honest.
Well, it's usually Ajax's form that's let them down in Champions League this season. I think it is. They lost to Liverpool. They lost to Atalanta at home. They've lost a few home games this season, so they've been better away from home this season. But that's not to say it'll be an easy ride at Roma.
Still 1-0 to United. Arsenal are 1-0 up as well. Pepe scored.
Who's got the goal?
On the 86th minute. So Arsenal...
Oh wow, I'm into 94th.
Arsenal are so weird. Why is it they're doing alright in Europa League, but anything else, they're crap?
I struggle as well. I really struggle to understand.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, that Benfica game, they were very close to getting knocked out. So...
Yeah, and they weren't great, were they?
They weren't great. No, I honestly, to be honest with you, it did feel like a turning point when they beat Benfica in that game. It just felt like it, but...
You know, winning without playing well.
Yeah.
That seems so un-Arsenal-esque. And then that Liverpool game at the weekend was one of the 2 steps back. That was awful.
Yeah.
That was really bad. And I think it was even more unacceptable. And then, again, I was watching Match of the Day, and they were saying, is Arteta really progressing? Because the first 25 games were better than the last 25, because it was his 50th game as Arsenal manager. And they made a fair point. It was reasonably compelling that Arsenal lacked direction and any sort of real purpose in that game. And that's the problem with them. It seems like they have a decent setup, and then if they keep possession, then they can find their way into the game. But if they don't have possession, then they don't know what to do when they do get the ball. Arteta bases his ideology around possession. And then if you look, they're in the lower halves of the table for average possession in the Premier League this season. So his ideology is there. He just can't implement it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He can implement it in Europe when, let's be fair, the draw's been favourable to Arsenal. Let's not lie. The draw in this Europa League, Slavia Prague, Olympiacos, even Benfica to a certain extent, favourable. Teams have had harder draws than that. So,
but I can't see that.
Itself,
them and Villarreal, it just feels like Villarreal. It'd be so funny if Emery beats them.
Yeah,
it'd be so funny.
I think he will.
Villarreal leading.
Villarreal is still in the lead by the looks of it, yeah, 1
1-0.
0.
Yeah.
And Slavia Prague have got a corner here, and they're looking good for a decent chance there. Forced to save out of Bernd Leno.
I think United have got. What have United got here? A corner?
Ah. And Leno punches that onto the post, really
I'm not.
quite
I'm not sure what the
uncomfortably.
referee's doing here. Is it a penalty?
It is a penalty. It is a
Oh,
penalty.
let's have a look.
Fernandez is going up to take the penalty.
Oh, right. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
And Prague have got a goal.
Oh, Prague! Well done, Prague! They love English teams.
93rd minute.
I did say.
It's Holles.
That's a big moment because Prague have got that away goal, Seb. That's what they needed.
We've got goals in all games. The only team that not concedes tonight is United and Villarreal. So
What can I say? United Villarreal final coming up. It could be. You never know. Emery versus Solskjaer. We'll see.
I think they've got to fancy themselves. Both teams have got to fancy themselves in some way.
Well, I'll say this now: if Bruno scores, then United should
So
be
Arsenal
firm
conceded on the
favourites.
corner. Arsenal conceded on the corner, and one thing I've noticed: Pepe, the ball comes to Pepe, and it bounces off his leg and comes into the path of Holler. It's just right in front of goal, and Pepe really wusses out that challenge. Well, not the challenge, but the ball there. He hides his face like that, and it bounces off his leg, and then it's put right in front of goal for Holles. And Arteta is not happy. Not happy at all.
Go on, Bruno.
Yeah, I'd be
Yes,
disappointed.
he's got. He got his hands
close
to
call.
it. It was
Close call.
Fernandez gets too close to me. Oh, but thank goodness. He's not crying, is he?
I think he's got a rash around his eye.
Oh, is he? It looked like he was crying then. I feel sorry
Yeah,
for the
he's got
Granada
a red eye.
goalkeeper because he does. Yeah, he had that. He just it's one of those.
Yeah, so one of the ones who was with the squad for Portugal and with Fernandez, obviously, because Silva, the goalkeeper for Granada, is in that Portugal outfit there.
Well, that's what United needed: 2 away goals, and
Maguire is down.
Maguire
Ten
is.
Hag doesn't look happy, and Arteta has still got his head in his hands. You know, it's a beautiful evening of football.
Roma just looked. Roma looked so unpredictable, so this is why I'm a bit concerned about
This
Roma.
is the thing. I said they'll either come back in very, very heroic fashion, or they'll crack, and they've come back in heroic fashion. And they've still got a lot of absence. I mean, let's not forget that they should have had Smalling tonight. They could have had, as I mentioned, Zanioli, but that's a bit too easy because he's been out all season long. They could have had Mkhitaryan. El Shaarawy.
I must admit, when the draw was made, I thought if United do go through, I want Ajax. Because Roma are just one of those teams where I just think they're a step up on paper.
I think Ajax can give United those chances that they want. They can push upfield quite high and be quite expansive. So that's what United want. They want to play against a team where they have to absorb pressure and then hit them on the counter. That is Ajax. That's not Roma. Roma can be unpredictable, but they can also, in some cases, defend really well, which is weird enough saying it, that their record in Serie A is not great this season, but they can sit back and defend.
Yeah,
and that won't suit United.
United
will have trouble breaking them down.
I have a feeling the AC thing is, I think that's no different to the AC Milan rounds, where I think a goal would separate it, as in it would be a tight affair between the two teams. But I honestly think it'd be the same scenario where I'm not saying United would beat Rome. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if there was 1 or 2 goals in the first leg and just the 1 goal in the second, and then that's it. That decides it. I mean, look, we'll see. We still got the second legs of the quarterfinals yet, so stop thinking ahead, Seb.
Obviously, I'm just looking back at the Nicola Pepe goal, and he's taking it well, and that's actually Arsenal hitting Prague on the counter attack, which is a weird one.
The what?
And
because that's
hit Prague on the counter attack
against Liverpool. They couldn't even get out their own half, according to the average positions.
Yeah, but Prague messed up the clearance, and Aubameyang managed to regain possession and get Nicola Pepe in behind.
Yeah.
So, and then the goal that Arsenal conceded is from a corner, and I think if Leno isn't caught on his heels, then he might get that on any other day. But was poor defending from Arsenal in that corner. Pepe, who kind of backs down from really taking that ball on to clear it. Solo gets in behind way too easy to get that header in the 5-yard box. It's all pretty atrocious from Arsenal there, and the minimum you can expect from them. Roma have won the game here. It's over. You haven't seen already.
Yeah, over for me as well. So yeah, as you can see on our scoreboard, it's ended Ajax 1, Roma 2, and that's 2 away goals for Roma thanks to Ibanez and Pellegrini with those goals in the second half after Klazan scored the opening goal for Ajax in that first half. But this tie's nowhere near done. All it would take is Ajax to get that goal back, and then who knows what could happen. And I think Ajax, well, here's a thought. Where's who's their main man up front for Ajax? I forgot his name.
Haller. No.
Can he not play?
No. They got they tried signing him up into the squad, but they were too late.
Oh, that's
he's
a real pain in the arse for that. I mean, I'm not saying Harlow is a game changer, but
he is for Ajax.
He is for Ajax.
He has been, I mean, hit and miss in recent weeks, maybe, but he's definitely been a key player in the way they play recently. Actually, I say that, but he's scored 7 goals in 12 games he's played for them, and he's not always been a starter, so that's a decent return, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But yeah, error from Ajax to forget to sign him up into the squad, which is, wow, one of the biggest administrative cock-ups recently for football.
So yeah, that's the end of the game then. So very interesting indeed. Of course, we'll go through the scores as well. Man United have won away from home 2-0. Granada they've faced. That's 2 away goals, which I'm not going to say they're through, but they should be firm favourites to head to the semi-finals again in the Europa League under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So they, of course, wait for either... Sorry, I'm making it sound like they're through. If they go through, then they face either Ajax or Roma. But, of course, Arsenal have conceded a late away goal against Prague, which, yet again, Prague have played pretty much every British club you can think of, apart from Wolves, in this Europa League. So, and even they are making it look tight at the moment. And of course, Villarreal getting away goal at Zagreb. But Zagreb, look, they've got as far as they can. They're unpredictable.
Yeah. They have got decent players, though. Can I just reassure you, Jamie? So, Granada are 9th in La Liga, so it can only be expected. Then they're punching above their weight, already getting into Europa League. But the fact that they're this far into the competition is, again, punching above their weight. Their away record is the worst in Spain. They are currently last on the amount of away games. They'd be last in the table if it was only that counted. So if that's to reassure you, Jamie, for the next tie against United.
Well, thank you. So that's basically saying from Seb, if you don't win this, Jamie, you're fucked.
They're even worse than Alaves this season with away games. So
oh dear.
if that can reassure you, Alaves being last. So Alaves have got 9 points away from home this season. So have Granada. But Granada have conceded more and scored less.
So that pretty much wraps up our watch along tonight. So AS Roma getting their first feet into the semi-finals potentially. But meanwhile, before we finish, I'll just keep you updated on what's happened in the Masters. Look at this. Justin Rose is top of the leaderboard. Justin Rose, the English golfer, he's 1 ahead of Brian Harman and Matsuyama. But that's because Matsuyama and Harman have now gone into the clubhouse, so they're done for the day. But Justin Rose has still got 5 holes to go. So I'm going to be leaving very shortly to watch the rest of tonight's golf and then look forward to this weekend, because we're going to show you, we can't show you because we haven't got the rights, but we're going to do a watch along for the Saturday night and Sunday night golf from Augusta. That's what I'm doing this weekend. We might have some football going on with either Seb or Joe. We don't know. It's whenever we're free, but our main coverage this weekend is the golf. And of course, do join me tomorrow night because we're doing France women versus England women in a women's international friendly. That's at 8:10 UK time, so do join me for that. And that's pretty much come to the end of this watch along. Seb, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Seb will now go back to his crackers. You could go eat them again now.
No, I'm good for that.
He's good, he says. He's good. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Do subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good one.